All right, welcome everybody to the first day of Computer Science 40. Today we're mostly going to be doing syllabus type stuff. We're not going to be learning any actual computer science. However, attendance is mandatory, and we're going to have a little exercise for you that'll test your critical thinking skills that'll count for your daily attendance. So this is the online section. There's also an in-person section of CSCI 40. You're free to go to either of those sections however you want. Attendance at one counts as attendance at the other. It really doesn't matter one way or the other. Where you attend this class, it's just important that you attend and that you stay on top of the class as much as possible. If you can't make either class, all of the lectures are videotaped and are put up on YouTube, and so you can watch them, but don't cave into the temptation of like, oh, we'll just, not go to class and just I'll watch it later and then let all the lectures pile up on it. So anyhow, my name is Bill Kearney. I am one of two computer science professors here at Clovis Community College in Fresno. Not in Clovis, actually. And online with us here in Discord, we have Justice Mincarelli, who is the TA for the class. Round of applause. Use some clap emojis for him. We've also got some alumni that are going to be helping out with you guys today. We got Aaron Hare, and we've got Hazelton, whose first name is Brandon. Is that right, Hazelton? And let's see, we got Michael Juarez, or he was here a second ago. There he is. Yeah, Michael Juarez is here as well. And all of them are very smart individuals. They are alumni of the computer science program here. They're great guys, and they're just here to help out of the goodness of the heart. Oh, we got Tofin also. Tofin is here as well to help out with you guys. Okay, so this is Computer Science 40. This is the first class in what will hopefully be a long and prosperous career in computer science for you all. It is the foundation of computer science. Every topic we learn in this class is crucial. Like you will potato and fail if like you go through this class and just don't learn, I don't know, if statements or something. Like if there's some topic you don't know very well in this class, it's going to be just a disaster later on in your career. So every topic, we're going to hammer it. We're going to hammer it hard. You're going to come out of here with a great education in computer science. You just need to put in the time. You need to put in the effort. And honestly, we've got a really good... Oh, Vargas is here too. Nice. And we've got a really good computer science program here. And I feel like, I would stack up the education you guys are going to get here at Clovis Community College against any college in the world. This class is for people that have never taken computer science before. Sometimes students look at other people next to them, that are doing amazingly well, that have been programming since, before they were born. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not as good as them. Well, this class isn't for them. This class is for people that have never programmed before. We are here. We're going to take you from zero, from no experience whatsoever, and get you competent at programming within one semester. Okay? So a 0 to hero, that is correct. You will come out of here with a good, solid foundation for computer science after just one semester. Take CSCI 41 next semester, and you will be good enough to get a junior developer position at a company. That's when I started working, actually, was after taking the equivalent of 40 and 41. Okay. So we are going to do some paperwork kind of stuff here. Let me get my face out of the way. So we're gonna go over kind of like the syllabus. It's the first day of college. How many people here, first of all, how many people here are computer science majors? Let's get a show of hands on chat. How many people here are CSCI majors? And if you're not a CSCI major, just type on chat. Put up your hand, wave, clap if you're a computer science major. If you're not, tell me what you are. I'm math, I'm aerospace, I'm physics, I'm mechanical. Electrical engineering, yeah. So, we had an electrical engineer in the previous section as well. I actually worked for the EE department and the electrical engineering department at UCSD. And the reason why I worked for them was because I was a computer science guy. Even though electrical engineers take a semester of computer science or so, they weren't like that good at it. And so they hired me to do the things that they couldn't do. And so if you're a electrical engineer and you take a little bit more computer science than other people, it's actually, I would say, a pretty good advantage for you. Computer engineering is kind of computer science, kind of electrical engineering, kind of halfway in between. Finance, math, very nice. Computer engineering is related. Computer engineering is related. Physics, yeah, physics. Also, a lot of physics is computer science these days, and I've got students who are actually working for the physics. In fact, I think Aaron, you're working for Berkeley, right? Um, uh, Doing physics stuff, I think, right? Yeah. And the guy that he's working for is also a former student of mine, computer science student, who they hired because physics is a lot of computer science these days. So, psych, very nice, very nice. And finance, yeah, I mean, so much of finance is computerized these days. It's, there's a lot of jobs. Like I have a friend in well, I want to say New York, but he actually lives in Jersey, who works for Goldman Sachs doing programming for finance. And that's there's a lot of high paying jobs in that field as well. Okay, so the syllabus is on Canvas. Basically, the part of the syllabus that everybody cares about is how do I get my grade, and here's the breakdown. So 30% of your grade is going to be in writing programs. You're going to be given a major programming assignment every week. You got a week to do it. And do you want me to do the same introduction as the in-person? Yeah, in a sec. So you're going to be given one large programming assignment per week. That's 30% of your grade. This is kind of like where the rubber meets the road, and you actually demonstrate that you know how to program. 10% will be in quizzes. Quizzes are where we do our attendance. Do not skip the quizzes, because if you skip 6 quizzes, you get dropped from the class. So even if you take the quiz and get a 0, that counts for being here. Do you guys all understand that? Please type, I understand. Quizzes are attendance. It's really important, because if you're like, it's only 10% of my grade. Yeah, you'll get dropped. So please type in chat, I understand quizzes are attendance. It's really important that you just don't not do it. I agree to all terms and conditions. Just click on the accept the EULA. Yeah. All right. 20% of your grade is going to come from textbooks. So we have Zybooks. Unfortunately, they do cost money. I negotiated with them last semester to reduce the price for you guys. So I do like going to bat for you guys and keeping the price low as much as possible. 26, CSCI 26, CSCI 45 basically don't have textbooks, but it's kind of essential. I've gone back and forth on this topic a number of times. I think Zybooks is the right choice for you guys. It does cost money. It is a really good product. It's worth the money, and you have to do it. So there's 2 different kinds of Zybooks that you're going to do. You're going to be getting 2 textbook assignments a week. The first one is just a reading. So you're going to be just reading over the information, and they have these little checks for knowledge, like true or false, variables, and you hit true, and it's wrong. And then you hit false, and it's correct. And then you get the point. So it's very low stakes. If you just get it wrong, you just correct yourself. But it's there just to check your knowledge as you go along, and you get points for successfully completing the little questionnaires as you do it. And then the other thing that we're going to do in Zybooks are these things called Zylabs. I've scaled this down from last semester. Last semester, I probably gave too many of them. This semester, you're just going to get a few, but it's going to get you into the habit of writing programs in computer science. So Zylabs are these tiny little programming assignments, and it'll just get you into the practice of writing code. And you have to. Programming is like learning a foreign language. Programming is like studying French or Chinese or something like that. It's impossible to learn Chinese if you never speak it, if you never do it, if you never read it. You have to read and write and listen and speak. You have to just be working with it constantly. And so Zybooks is really good at just getting that practice in, getting those repetitions in, training your mind. It's like lifting weights. You just got to keep working on it and working on it and working on it. And I promise you that if you put in the time, if you put in the effort, if you sweat, mentally, like lifting weights, you're going to come out of this class in a really strong position. The people who come out of our program here are just very well off mentally and well prepared for computer science in either careers or in universities and things like that. So, so the Zybooks, the Zylabs part of it is going to be just a few small programming assignments, little short things that'll just keep you in the game, keep you working, keeping you writing code, and it's good for you. So instead of midterms, we're going to have these things called competency exams. Competency exams are going to come in whenever we finish a unit, like we've just learned about if statements or something. And once we finish it, you're going to be given a test to demonstrate you're competent, that you understand the topic. If you fail it, you can retake it, and you get the higher score. And if you fail that one, you can retake it again. But you have to go into the tutorial center first, and I'm going to let Nick Curley talk about that in just 1 second. And if you fail that one, you have to go into the tutorial center again, get another lecture on the topic, because I want you to know everything. I want you to come out of here with all 6 of the topics we're going to cover this semester, knowing all of them really well. It is a train wreck. It is a disaster if you're just like, oh, I don't need to know what a variable is. I'll just move on with my life. No, it doesn't get better. Imagine trying to do algebra and not knowing what a variable is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to go well. And so these competency exams are set up so that you have to know the material. Like, you're not getting out of here without knowing the material. And so we just give you chance after chance after chance to demonstrate that you understand each of the 6 major topics we're talking about in this class. You get the highest grade of each. And the tutorial center is on campus and online. Min Curley, let me unmute you if you're muted. And do you want to talk a little bit? Like I said, the first take and the second take of the competency exams are open for everybody. But if you fail 2 of them, you have to make an appointment with the tutor, like Min Curley here, who's going to come on in a second. And he will lecture you again on the topic, on variables or on if statements or something, and teach it to you again and prepare you for the test. And if you fail it again, he'll do it again and give you another lecture on it and get a final 4th try on it. And if you fail it 4 times, then Lord be with you. We did the best we could. So Min Curley, you want to tell them the hours and how to do it online and stuff like that? I think you're unmuted now, so you should be able to talk.
Yeah. So the tutorial center is open Monday through Friday, and it is also open on Sunday. I forgot to tell that to the in-person class. The tutorial center hours on Mondays are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Do you want to type it in chat so they can kind of see in the chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in chat.
Okay.
But the sources for the TC, basically as Frank was saying, if you need any help, there's going to be tutors that are going to be. We have because we hired a lot of CSCI people over the summer break. Pretty much all day, every single day from Monday through Friday, and including Sunday, there's going to be somebody here to help you with CSCI. If you need help with anything else as well, we have a bunch of resources here that can help you out. And we do in person as well as online. So since you guys are online, we do allow Zoom. So I can put that also in with the hours. We are in AC1 137, which is going to be in the academic center 1. It's the room with the pit. But basically, I only wanted to bring that up because if you want to come in person, which we also offer those services as well, you can. So I'll put in the hours.
So Justice here is a great guy. By the way, Justice is a great guy. He's very friendly. He works as hard as any tutor I've ever had. And we've been really working over the summer to come up with new ideas for things for you guys and new things. And so he's available both in person and online for helping you guys. Please ask for help during the semester. Justice, you want to talk about asking for help? No? Okay. At some point in computer science, your brain's going to hurt. You're going to get stuck. You're going to need somebody's help to get unstuck. And we've got a great set of tutors, and there's also alumni, things like that. So there's Michael Juarez and Aaron and Hazelton that are all here to help if you get stuck. And the Discord here has a help center on it. The help center is a place where you ask questions, and there's basically going to be somebody there 24/7 that can answer your questions. The tutorial center is open 9 to 9, Tuesday through Thursday. So send a message to Michael Juarez if you need any help with homeworks. We've got a great group of people here that are willing to help you out. So if you get stuck, there are lots of opportunities to get unstuck. The main thing that I want to encourage on you guys is not to wait to the last minute, which you're like, I don't believe you. I'm just going to wait till the last minute anyway. Trust me, you're going to get burned at some point by waiting to the last minute and not getting it done. You want to start every computer science homework the day that you get it, just even a little bit, just to see how it's going to go, have a feel for it. Most students are cursed with optimism. Most students are far too optimistic. And normally, optimism is a good thing. It's not when there's a deadline and you are optimistic about the ability to solve a problem. So do not give in to your optimism. Embrace pessimism, at least when it comes to scheduling your homework and things like that. Because it's the most common cause of failure in this class is that people are like, I get this done in 3 hours, and so they start at 9 p.m. and it's not done in 3 hours, and then they get a zero. So curse with optimism, yeah. So normally optimism is a good thing. Okay, and then finally, 20% of your grade will be on the final. The final, we're going to try and work out how to handle that for the online session. Basically, given the existence of ChatGPT, we are rethinking how we're structuring the course. What we would ideally like is for students to come in and take the final in person, or go into a testing center if they could take it in person. If not, then we might do something like a Zoom interview kind of thing where you have to code live in front of me, that kind of stuff. So stay tuned on how the final is going to work in this class. Ideally, like if you're just in Fresno, you could just like come in and take a pen and paper test. That would be the simplest way of doing it. But basically, I don't want students being able to use ChatGPT to get through the entire semester. So, how many people here have heard of ChatGPT? Show of hands on chat if you haven't. Also, say if you haven't heard of it. It is upending education in America right now, and the problem is that it can write code, right? And so I can give you a homework assignment, and you can punch it in ChatGPT, and it'll give you an answer. And it does make mistakes, right? And so there are professors that are like, we should embrace it, we should teach students how to use it. But this is introduction to computer science. If it makes a mistake, like Mr. Falconer said, you need to have this basic, you have to have the skills to be able to say, hey, that's incorrect, and fix it, right? It's the same reason why we don't let students use calculators when they're first learning to do math, because then they become reliant upon the calculator, and then they can't double check the calculator. They add 7 and 3, and they get 21, and they're like, oh, that seems right. No, it's not. You hit the multiply instead of the plus. You know what I mean? And you can't use ChatGPT in this class by and large. I'll talk about this on the next slide. More complex stuff it screws up on. It actually does like a pretty good job making code, but if you rely on it, you're not learning yourself. Like if you go onto ChatGPT and say like, hey, write my homework assignment for me, and it writes it for you, you have not done the mental effort. You haven't done the weightlifting needed to train your mind. Like the whole point of this class is we're going to do repetitions and practice and exercises in your mind to make your mind grow in strength and become better and better at programming. And if you just offload all that onto ChatGPT, then you never develop those skills yourself. And CSCI 41 is going to be an absolute disaster for you. Third semester computer science is going to be even worse. We had a student a year ago that cheated his way through CSCI 40 and 41 and was trying to cheat his way through 26, and it was just like a train wreck on top of a train wreck on top of a train wreck because he had no skill. Like, he'd come in and ask for help, and like he didn't even know how to write a for loop, which you would learn in like 2 weeks from now in CSCI 40, and it was it's not good. Like you have to 40. This class is foundational. Like you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort. You have to feel like your brain is on fire and smoke's coming out of your ears, and maybe that's an unpleasant feeling for some people. Like maybe students don't like feeling like challenge. You know what I mean? Like this feeling of like I don't know how to solve this. But let me tell you something about computer science. Like in computer science, you will feel clueless all the time. In grad school, the professor would toss out a problem to a bunch of people, and we're all in grad school. We've all been doing computer science for 5 or 6 years at that point. And you toss out, what seems like a deceptively simple problem. Like, given a chessboard and here's a queen, how many moves does it take for the queen to capture the king from where it's at? You know, and you just see everybody in the room just like thinking about it. You can capture a piece and move through it, or you can like move around it, and you're like, how do I solve this in a reasonable amount of time? Uh, you know, how am I going to go about this? And you just hear everybody's brains just kind of like working, and there's steam coming out of the ears, and everyone's like, oh, how to solve this, or I kind of know how to solve it. I know how to solve it badly, but how do I solve it well? Um, and that's normal. Like most computer science people will sort of ping pong between like, yes, I am the greatest in the world, and I'm a complete moron and have no idea how to do this, and you just kind of swing back and forth between feeling like the most like He-Man, pulling the sword, or just a complete incompetent. But if you like problem solving, if you like the feeling of like defeating a difficult puzzle, then computer science is for you. Computer science really is at its heart puzzle solving. Computer science is critical thinking, breaking a problem down into pieces, solving the pieces, assembling them back together, and coming up with this very elaborate and elegant solution for something, and it feels good, or it should feel good. If you don't feel good when you solve puzzles, then it'll be rough. So, ChatGPT. So here is chat. Oh, sorry, this is Chai GPT. My bad. Genuinely pure tea, enhanced with AI, ADRAC, and IHE. IHE. So ChatGPT has upended education in America, and so the rule for ChatGPT in this class, and I want you guys to pay attention here. You can use it. You can ask it questions. Like you can be like, "Hey, explain to me what a for loop is. Explain to me what is a tree." And it'll actually summarize fairly complex topics in computer science fairly well. Like it actually can explain things to you in English very reasonably. You can almost use it as like a TA or a tutor. Like, hey, I don't understand the difference between a float and a double. Please tell me what the difference is between the two of these things, because they seem like the same thing to me. And ChatGPT will be like, okay, well, it's basically scientific notation, and one of them just has more significant digits than the other. And you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. That's fine. That's fine. What I do not want to see from you guys, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because last semester, 20 out of the 80 students in CSCI 41 got caught using ChatGPT this way, which is you take your test questions or your homework questions and you put them into ChatGPT, and it generates code for you, and then they copy and paste the code as their solution. Plagiarism or cheating or however you want to put it, because they didn't write it themselves. But the important thing is that they didn't learn anything. Like it didn't go through that mental process of exercising, right? Where you get a problem, you chew on it, and you work on it, and you write some code, and it doesn't work, you test it, and it's like this mental process of just getting stronger and stronger the more you work on things. If you just copy and paste 3 pages of text, you didn't learn anything. It's like it's like my wife. Like my wife has a step tracker, and so when my wife, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like these watches that like count the number of steps you take a day. Fitbits, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So my wife tries to take 10,000 steps a day. And when she doesn't, she puts the watch on me and tells me to go walk around the neighborhood so she can get her steps in. That's ChatGPT, right? Like It's like, hey, Megan, I'll pay you $20 to lift weights for me today so I can get strong. Like, no, like you got to do it yourself. You know what I mean. So like, you can also trade. Yeah, like I'll brush my teeth, right? And I'm like, oh look, I just walked 100 steps. I brushing my teeth. But like, yeah, or that's ChatGPT. Like, in other words, it's basically having somebody else do the exercise for you, or do the workout for you. That's no good. The whole point of this class is to train and develop your mind so that it grows and expands and becomes more capable and more powerful and more organized and so on and so forth. If you haven't write code for you, you're not doing it. So here's the hard line. Here is the bright dividing line between cheating and okay. On the okay side, like I said, you can ask it questions, ask it to explain concepts to you. That's fine. The bright dividing line is you do not copy and paste anything into what you submit to me. You guys understand that? If you ever copy something from ChatGPT or from other people or from Chegg or anything, if you ever copy and paste and submit it as your own work, that's cheating. Do you guys understand? Like, that's a pretty bright line. Everything that you submit, you type yourself. You write yourself. Okay. So, and that includes like, oh, I'm just going to transcribe ChatGPT stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you don't copy, you don't hit Control C, Control V, you don't copy things. That's the dividing line. Okay. And that includes your friends. If your friend has some code and you look over their shoulder and transcribe it, that's cheating also. You don't copy stuff in your thing. And to that extent, we have worked, you might see some people that have the bright yellow names on Discord. Those are the people that have been working with me this summer on the summer project. And the summer project was in large part setting up a new development environment for you guys that is really nice. Like, I think, Aaron and the rest of them have actually done a pretty good job setting up a new development environment. But all of the work you must do on the server must be on our server. All the programming you do must be on the server this year. Okay. And the reason for that is because basically everything you do on the server is logged. And so I can sort of fast forward and rewind through your development process. And it's like typing code, bloop, like, oh, look at bloop. All right. That was a paste from ChatGPT, and the log of that has a automatic analysis thing that Aaron wrote on it that will flag it and put any anomaly like that into a sus log, is what it's called. And then I get a report of all the suspicious commits like that, and then I can open up your history and look at it and be like, okay, yeah, right there they posted a page of text from ChatGPT. So it's unfortunate that we have to do it that way, but it's the reality of the situation we're in now. Basically, all of your keystrokes on the server are going to essentially get logged. I'm not looking at them normally. It's only if there is a suspicious anomaly, like suddenly 100 lines of code appear or whatever. Basically, if you paste something in, it'll flag it for review. It's not like you're going to get it sent to detention, just because you copied from yourself or something like that. But it does spike and show an anomaly. So, is it going to be the same way for all my classes? Yes. So, like, if you're asking about CSCI 26, yeah. So all development has to be done on the server. And it's just the reality of the situation of ChatGPT these days. Yeah, no using VS Code anymore. But the good news is that the new development environment is pretty darn sweet. So, so we've got a pretty good setup. What's up, McCurley?
I was going to say, can I talk a little bit about?
Sure, go for it.
I said this to the in-person class. There's a lot of people here that are willing to help you. There's a lot of people out there there's a lot of resources. Don't cheat them out of being able to help you. Don't cheat, because you're not just cheating yourself when you use ChatGPT or something like that. You're cheating yourself. You're cheating your parents' money if you're here on their dime worth they're paying your college. Like, it's just not. Like, there's a lot of people willing to help. Don't go the easy way out because you're just not going to learn.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, thanks, sir. Yeah, and again, you're just cheating yourself. It's like I said, it's like you're paying somebody to go lift weights for you. Like, you want to come out of this class mentally strong. And if you don't write the code yourself, then it's just the rest of your computer science career is going to be rough because you can't even like look at the output of ChatGPT and know if it's correct or not. Okay, so we do have a lot of support available for you in this class. There's a lot of ways where if you're stuck on a homework assignment, you can get unstuck. You can ask me. There's the help center here on Discord. There's the tutorial center both in person and online. There's Michael Juarez and Hazelton, and I don't know if Eggert is offering to help as well. She's a genius here. You could probably, yeah, there you go. You can ask her. There's a lot of people, and I think you might be able to tell the alumni here are really passionate about the computer science program here. We've got a really great group of people, and they're all willing to help out. You just, you put in the effort, and we put in the effort too, and you'll come out of here just top tier, S tier rating. Okay. There is a last chance program. Let me get my face out of the way. And if you miss a homework assignment during the semester, you can turn in an assignment up to 1 week late by going to the tutorial center and doing a code review there. And so basically they go over your homework and they help you with it. So you basically get one Slack assignment a semester, and then there is an opportunity for doing a second one if you do a lot of Zybooks. So I'd recommend just not slacking more than once. But if you have to, there is a way of completing all of the Zybooks chapters on the topic that you missed to get a second last chance as well. Okay, so we've got so doing extra Zybooks is a good way to solidify concepts. Yeah, it's not even that bad an idea to do the exercise books. Like it's a pretty solid textbook, and the exercises do teach you. And so if you're ever just like, I want to get good, like doing the extra assignments are a good thing to do anyway. Is this just at Clovis Community College, or can you do it at present? It's only at the Clovis Community College TC, only at our tutorial center. Okay. Yeah. So let's go over what computer science is. So computer science as a field is really, most people only think of it as writing software. Like most people think of computer science is like learning to program. And that's true to a certain extent. It's true. Writing software is a big part of computer science, but it's not only what we do in computer science. Computer science is actually a lot of things kind of mixed together, and people typically fixate on just the programming side of it, and they ignore the other parts of it. And I had a professor that never wrote a program in his life, and he was very proud of that fact. He was a computer science professor that had never written a line of software. He was proud of it. He had grad students to do his coding for him. He didn't bother with such minutia, and he would focus on number two. So number one is programming computers, and that's what we're going to be doing in this class. We're going to be learning how to program a computer. How do you start from a blank, file and notepad, and at the end of the semester have World of Warcraft or whatever going in it? Like how do you go from 0 to 60? How do you write code? How do you write programs? That's number one. Number two is studying how programs work. And so let's say that I gave you a yes, self-service is down right now. Like don't even bother. It crashes every semester on the first day. I'm not even trying to log on it right now. If you're trying to add the class, I can't help you. It's dead. So number two. So let's say that I give you like a task. Like let's say I give you a program you have to write to solve a maze, and I give you a task to solve a maze. And one person solves it in such a way that it could solve it in a millisecond. Another guy solves it in such a way that it takes a minute to solve it. One of those programs is obviously much faster than the other, and one of them is probably usable, in like a video game. Like you can have a robot using it to find its way out quickly. The other one's not really usable, and there's a lot of different solutions for the same kinds of problems. And and some of them are better than others, and some of them have trade-offs. Some of them use more RAM, and this is called algorithmic analysis. And algorithmic analysis we'll get more into in CSCI 41 and 26. And it's really like looking at the efficiency of algorithms, how fast they run as you add more and more names to a phone book, how much more time does it take to sort the phone book alphabetically, that kind of stuff. That's a really big part of computer science. If you focus on that, you're almost more of like a math major than a software engineering person. You're not a programmer so much as a mathematician that's looking at programs and seeing how quickly they run. Like you have a graph, like you have a X and Y chart, like number of names in the phone book, and then time, and what is the curve of, like, as you add names, does it take longer and longer, or is it faster and faster, that kind of stuff. And so it's like almost being a math person, and there's a lot of proofs that you write and things like that as well, and under category 2. If you like writing proofs, that's a whole specialty in computer science you do. Algorithms, super interesting subject, tough but interesting. Yeah, and it's a lot of math and it's a lot of proofs, and it's useful. Like, be able to do something in a millisecond instead of a year makes a difference. You love proofs, yeah, then you can specialize in that if you want. So number 3, figuring out better ways of doing programming. And this is something, yesterday I was in Indianapolis, Detroit, and San Diego. It was a busy day yesterday, and Fresno. I drove up. So when I was in San Diego, I was gonna get lunch with one of my former professors, Bill Griswold, and I couldn't because I left my daughter in San Diego, and everybody in the family got COVID except her. So my daughter is sitting there like Neo in the Matrix, like dodging COVID left and right. So I left her with the grandparents, and then everybody's sick. So I ended up not meeting with him, but I think he was busy too or something. But Bill Griswold studies software engineering. So he will do studies like academic research papers where he watches people program and tries to figure out ways to make the programming experience more efficient, less bug prone, keeping people on task, more, eliminating distractions. Like, it's called software engineering, but there's a huge number of things that go into, like, you've got a programmer, you've got a computer, you've got a task you have to write. How long does that take? How long does it take? How many bugs did you make? How long did it take you to find and fix those bugs? How good is the code at the end of it? How maintainable is the code? Like, there's a lot of things kind of like around programming, and so that's an entire discipline as well. Like, how do you make programmers more efficient? You've got a programmer, you got a computer. How do you make it so that they can write code quickly and cleanly and efficiently without bugs? It's a huge topic. It's a really interesting topic too. So, of course, you have the programmer position. Like, everybody, you gotta hunch over your, this is how you program, right? You have to be hunched over constantly like this, like your spine shaped like a shrimp. Yeah. Here on the memes channel, I think somebody. There we are. There we go. Yeah. So this is what Bill Griswold studies, right? The optimal hunched over. I'm kidding. The optimal hunched over posture for doing programming. Right? The picture hurts. Yeah, I know. Yeah, just as a general life pro tip, learn to sit up straight. Like, sit on your, with good posture, and have everything adjusted so that you're not hunched over with your head. Like, your head weighs as much as a bowling ball. If you're sitting with your head forward, your upper back is working constantly to hold a bowling ball up. You want your head above your spine. A lot of computer science people develop neck and back problems. Try to sit upright. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, breathe from your breathe, sit up, drink lots of liquids, coffee. Okay, water maybe. Drink lots of water. Stay healthy. Breathe from the neck. Are you a fish? Okay. So let me tell you about computer science. Computer science as a field is awesome, and computer science as a field is weird. Okay, and these are two statements that are true at the same time. So computer science is awesome. It is. Like I've wanted to be a computer science major ever since I was a kid. And I wrote my first program, and I was just enchanted by it and blown away. And I basically knew that this is what I wanted to do. In particular, I wanted to write video games, but more broadly, like I'm interested in a lot of things. And so, as long as I could be like writing program, like it just felt like magic to me. Like you just have these thoughts inside of your head, and you just type them on a text file, and suddenly just the computer is like bringing into reality your thoughts. And I'm just like, this is incredible. This is amazing. I've always wanted to. And in fact, I did make video games for a while, and that was fun. But as it turns out, there's lots of really fun things that you can do. You can work in literally any field on the planet. I've come from a lift-top coffee table. You can work in any field. You can work in farming, sorting, writing programs to sort apples. You can work doing control systems for oil fields. You can write code like I did for the bioengineering department, doing heart cell simulations. And I didn't know anything about heart cell simulations, and still don't. The professor, Andrew McCulloch, is a brilliant guy. I love him to death. He's like trying to explain, it's just a 42 parameter ordinary differential equation, and he's like got all these Greek symbols that I don't even know on the board, and I'm like, he's like, but the program already exists. I'm like, and it works? Yeah. Okay. I'll work with the program, I'm not going to be able to write this from scratch, but if you have something that's working, I can make that internet enabled for you, because it was a program that ran like old IBM mainframes. It was written prior to the introduction of the internet, basically. And my job was to make it work on the internet. So like people on the internet on a website could like punch in the parameters, and it runs this 42 parameter differential equation and spits out voltages and things like that. I'm like, but it works, right? Yeah, it works. Okay, I can work with that, And I finished a 2-year project in 3 months. Basically, it's effectively done in 3 months. And talked myself out of a lot of money, because they had 2 years of salary allocated, and they paid me 3 months and didn't give me the rest. But I was efficient. Yeah. Taught me a lesson, by the way. Spend the next 2 years changing the font. Procter & Gamble offered me a job as a result of that, which was nice, but I didn't want to live in Ohio. No offense to people in Ohio, but San Diego, kind of better. So anyway, yeah, you can work in any field, and that's something that you can do in computer science that you can't really do in other fields. Like I guess if you're like in accounting, like you could be an accountant for any field, but you're still doing accounting. In computer science, you're actually working in other people's fields all the time. Like we've got Aaron here working for physics at Berkeley, and I've worked for electrical engineers, I've worked for bioengineers, I've worked in all these different fields. You learn about them, and it's interesting. And so if you're ever tired of like doing game development, you just be like, I'm going to go into the world of high finance, and there's a lot of computer science jobs in finance. Who's the guy I was talking with? In Indianapolis, there was a guy who was doing DNA sequencing and analysis. Oh yeah. A friend of a friend. He lives in San Diego, actually, and they do bioengineering and they do DNA sequencing. And there's a lot of computer science positions in analyzing the DNA that comes out and being like, oh, there's cancer, or whatever it is. I've never done bioinformatics, but I hear it's hot still. And so you can get a job doing that if you want to like cure cancer or diabetes and stuff like that. It's cool. It's really neat. And you can bounce around between, fields if you want. You can't do that in other fields. Like if you're a pharmacist, you are going to be either working at a CVS, like outpatient pharmacy, You're going to be working for a hospital doing inpatient pharmacy. You might be doing like drug trials. That's about it. Like that's those are your options. Yeah, I guess you could sell drugs illegally, but that's usually frowned upon. Really, you know what you're going to be doing when you're in pharmacy, and in computer science, you can work anywhere, on any city, in any industry on the planet. And I've had friends that have just bounced around across the world. You know, like they're in Saudi Arabia one week, and then in Washington rock climbing the next week. Like it's if that's a life that appeals to you and you get good, you can work anywhere doing anything, and that's cool. It's really neat. Money's good. One of my students graduated from Berkeley, and with just a bachelor's in science from Berkeley's EECS program, electrical engineering computer science, he was offered $175 a year at Chase Manhattan right out of college, and that's not bad. $175 a year is pretty good, and that's starting. Like it goes up from there. So like I said, financial services have a lot of need for computer science people, and they pay a lot of money because most people aren't excited by working in financial services. Most people are excited by video game development, and so video games pay less. But if you get good in the video games industry, the money is pretty good also. This is prior to inflation, but yeah, the money is actually decent. It's not unheard of for, like I said, new students come out making high hundreds. Most of my friends in the Bay Area are probably pulling 200s and 300s, something like that. Which for the Bay Area is just like comfortable middle class. You probably still need to have a 2-income household to, get a place in the Bay Area. 200 doesn't go very far in the Bay Area. But you can do like what one of my students did. He actually gave a little bit out of reach. He's work from home, and so they ask him, what region are you in? And Fresno, as it turns out, is in the San Francisco region, and so they pay him San Francisco salary, but he gets to live in Fresno, and so he's making probably $175 a year, also working for GoDaddy and getting San Francisco money with Fresno real estate prices, which is nice. So it's a dream. Like, honestly, the pandemic was really good for the tech industry in Fresno because there's still like work from home is kind of, I think, decreasing overall, but there's still actually a lot of work from home positions. A friend of mine in Seattle is he's done jobs like working for Pokemon. It's like this indie little card game. Have you guys heard of Pokemon? It's like they have like these trading card kinds of. It's got like an electric gerbil on it or something like that. Yeah, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Pokemon? Like, there's like a fire lizard kind of thing. Yeah. So he was like doing cards or whatever for that. Anyhow, he's now working from home in Seattle, working in LA for a exactly. Working for, there it is. Marvel Snap. So pretty cool. Just hanging out with him in Indianapolis. And so yeah, there's still lots of work from home positions and things like that, and that's great for Fresno because Fresno has historically had not a great tech industry. There's lots of people that are like in tech, but like there's no native tech industry here in Fresno. And so with work from home, they're able to get jobs around the country and just work here and pay Fresno prices instead of San Francisco prices or Seattle prices, which is nice. Okay. Most places are moving to hybrid. Yeah, and that's the downside. So like some places are like that one, like you have to come into LA twice a year, which is fine. Yeah. Pokemon's from Smash. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I think Pikachu is in Smash Brothers or something. And I think there's like this MOBA that like some people play. Pokemon Go, is that it? I'm kidding. Don't kill me, Megan. Okay. Pokemon Unite, yeah. So when you're in computer science though, it's different every day. It's I love it. Like I get bored if I do the same thing every year. Like this semester, like we're doing all new homework assignments for you guys. Over the summer, we're doing a lot of stuff like Hazelton and Aaron and others were like working really hard setting up this new development environment for you. There's always like new stuff going on, and it's really cool. And I love that. I get bored very easily if I have to do the same thing over and over again, like grading. Wait, did I say that out loud? Yeah, grading's terrible. That's why I wrote a program to do the grading for me. It's great. Some people though find repetition soothing. My wife is a pharmacist. She finds doing the same thing every day to be comforting and soothing. I go crazy if I have to do the same thing every day. And so, like, if you asked me to write the same program today that I wrote yesterday, I would just copy and paste it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd just be like, oh yeah, it's done. Here you go. You know, like I just copy and paste it. Here you go. It's done. You know, I don't like repeating myself. I don't like wasting work. I like being very efficient with my time, and computer science is great for that. Computer science is a field made by and for lazy people. So if you ask me to repeat myself, I will copy and paste my old solution and update it if there's any differences. I don't waste my time, and it's for lazy people that like to work hard, which sounds like a contradiction, but it's really not. Computer science people are very productive, but we also do minimal effort. Minimal effort for maximal gain. It's the phrase of judo. You love repetition, are you doomed? I don't know. We'll find out. And finally, it's a challenging field. It's going to hurt your brain. You're going to feel like, I don't know what's going on. This isn't working. I don't know anything. But you're going to feel like your brain is just stretching, your brain's expanding, and it's like the astral consciousness meme where like the big brain like it explodes out of your head and things like that. That's basically what you guys are going to do for the next 4 years. For the next 4 years, your brain is going to grow and develop and expand. You're always learning things. There's always new things in computer science too. Like I've been doing it. I took this class in 1994, and I have learned new things every year since then. Like not just a couple things, but like significant new things for every year for the past however many years, almost 30 years. I love it. Like it's great. You know, like computer science is a constantly evolving field. Like ChatGPT was a curveball thrown by the world in November of last year, right? It's August. It hasn't even been out for a year, and it's completely upended the whole academic system, right? There's always new stuff coming down the line, and it's a lot of fun to engage with and learn and work with and stuff like that. So there you go. There's the that is computer science in a GIF format. Okay. Now, the downside is even though the money's good, if you're only doing it for the money, then you're going to be miserable. You gotta at least enjoy that feeling of elation you get when you solve a puzzle. You've got to enjoy like, oh, I just did something really hard and I succeeded. And you like tell your friends and family and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but good for you. You know, like you have to have that sort of enjoyment of like solving a puzzle. If you do that, you'll be great at computer science. If you hate solving puzzles, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. It's also different from every other science. Like there are people who are great at physics and great at chemistry and great at everything, and they struggle in computer science because it's different. It is very different. It's essentially puzzle solving, and so how do you write job interview questions for that? You know, you just give them a new puzzle. You know, how do you prep for that? You've never seen the puzzle before. So the only way you can prep for computer science positions is just to solve existing puzzles and hope that what you learn from those will help you with whatever new puzzle you get when you job interview. And it's always a curveball. And so the LEET code grind, yeah. But like a lot of the job interview questions they're really there just to see how you think. They want to see how you think because computer science is thinking, right? And so when you interview, you want to speak out loud. You want to think out loud. And so like a famous problem that Google used to ask is how many ping pong balls fit in a 747? And they don't expect you to know the answer. What they want to see is how you approach the problem. Okay? All right, what's the radius of a 747? What's the radius of a ping pong ball? Is it double decker, you know, like, and you talk out loud. And that's kind of what they're evaluating you on. Is like, how do you think? How do you approach problems? How's your problem solving ability? That's computer science in a nutshell. It's just problem solving. Okay. So here is your quiz for today. This is quiz 0. And this is a fun little exercise. I'm going to give you guys like maybe 10 minutes to solve it. I've got solutions from the previous class that I can share with you. So here's the situation. You are trapped in a well, and you're in a well 30 feet deep, dirt floor lined with stones. There are the following things on the ground in the well next to you. There are some PVC pipes. If you don't know what those are, they're these like white plastic pipes. Have you ever seen these like for plumbing and things like that? Those are your standard plumbing pipes you might see under your sink and things like that. So there's 3 10-foot long PVC pipes. There are a couple of 10-foot long 2x4s. A 2x4 is your standard kind of lumber used for like framing at a house. 2x4. So if you have 2 2x4s, that makes you have a 4x4, right? That's how the math works out. So this is like your standard like piece of lumber. That's a 4x4 there. Okay. I was actually making a joke about a truck, but okay, fair enough. So here's like 2x4s, like your standard piece of wood. So how wide is the well? I don't know, like 10 feet wide, something like that. Good question. One of the things that is a sign of a good computer science major is they ask good questions. So you go into this job interview and they're like, here's the situation. You're at the bottom of a well. Asking questions is actually one of the ways they evaluate you. They want to see, can this person ask questions anytime there's an ambiguity, anytime, you know, the instructions are unclear, can this person ask the right questions to, you know, get at the problem? So good, very good. Got 50 feet of silk rope, 5 nails, 2 of which are bent, a roll of duct tape, a hammer, and a saw. You guys got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and write down how you will escape. This is your quiz for today. So if you go onto Canvas, type in your solution, hit submit. Okay. What are the walls made of? They are made of mortar and stone. So kind of like what you see there. They're stones. They're mortared together. I don't know if you're a good free climber, but should be good enough to get your fingers in. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording now, and then we'll see what people's answers are when we come back in 3:40. Okay.
Kearney, we can't hear you.
Thank you. My microphone is muted. So yeah. So basically, go on to Canvas and upload your result. It is right here. And then you know, go ahead and post onto Discord what approach you guys took to solving the problem. You do not have to use all the materials. They're there. You can use them or not. It's up to you. So let's see what you guys got. Good solutions there. As you can see, everybody was like kind of coming up with different solutions. Some of them were like similar to each other. But what you'll find out is like when you do problem solving, it's very common for you to get, you know, different ways of getting out. A person in the previous class is like, I'll free climb out. I'm good at climbing. And if you look at the picture of the well, I was like, yeah, I could climb that. I don't need anything. Climb out. So yeah, tape the 2x4s together, making ladders, making grappling hooks, a lot of different approaches. There's no right or wrong answer, but there are answers that are better than others, and there are answers that have pros and cons that are different from each other. So leaning it up, just use your phone. Yeah, just call for help. waiting for the water. Somebody said that in the previous class. You wait for the rains to come in and just ride a boat up, essentially. In the previous class, they're asking, is there a roof over the well? Is there a lip on the well? Is there a cross beam? Which are all good questions to ask when you're doing these kinds of things. Like we got one question about the diameter of the rope and the diameter of the PVC pipes. When you're doing these things, like ask questions like, is there a rope falling down the middle? I mean, there was. Nobody asked though. So if this kind of thing like is enjoyable to you, like, that's kind of cool. Like, you get to think about different ways of solving it. Yeah. I want to know how you got on the well in the first place. And my question is, why is there a saw and a bunch of construction equipment at the bottom of the well? But this is basically what computer science is. Computer science is you're given a bunch of tools, and it's your task to solve a problem, using those tools. And learning how to think laterally, like, wait, is there a rope down the middle of the well? Or thinking about ways that things could go wrong, because people have died in many, many different ways due to bugs in computer science with the software engineer spam. Thank you. With the software engineers not thinking about the different ways things could go wrong. You have a negative airspeed on an aircraft. You have two different pitot tubes giving you different angles of attack, things like that. And they're well, it shouldn't. They're pointed the same way. The pitot tubes are the things on the front of an airplane that look like arrows that tell you wind speed and angle of attack. And if they ice up, well, if you guys heard of the 737 MAX crashes, it's because when they iced up, some of the airline companies didn't pay for the DLC. Boeing actually sold two different versions of the software, one of which would read from one pitot tube and one of which would read from two. All airplanes had two. They just charge extra money for the software to read from the second one that was already on the airplane. They're essentially using Electronic Arts DLC model for safety, and it caused an Ethiopian Airlines and a Lion Airlines plane to throw themselves into the ground and kill hundreds of people as a result of it. So, yeah, Boeing as a company lost a lot of respect in my book. Like back in the day, like I studied how they did software, fault tolerant systems and things like that. It was really good. But after their management kind of got bought out, well, they bought out McDonnell Douglas, and then the executives from McDonnell Douglas took over. They're all business oriented people, not safety oriented people. So, there's a lot of examples like that where like just computer science people didn't think of a situation. And, things happen as a result. People didn't account for the diameter of the well. Yeah. Like I told the previous class, I was offered, sort of an opportunity to work on, systems that would directly impact people's lives. And I was just like, nah, I don't trust my ability to write code that doesn't have bugs in it. I don't want to write code that'll kill somebody. Anyway, the entirety of code. So this is everything there is in computer science. Everything in computer science is on this slide. Everything you learn how to program is on this slide. And you might be wondering, like, why is computer science a 4-year degree? And the answer is it's a 4-year degree because you have to learn how to put these things together intelligently. It's kind of like if you know how to saw and hammer and screw and wrench things, then you know the basic tools of building a house. But actually building a house is hard because there's a lot of pieces that have to come together in a certain order so the thing doesn't fall down. But the basic tools, like you can teach somebody to saw pretty quickly. You can teach somebody how to screw a screwdriver pretty quickly. You teach somebody how to wrench a wrench pretty quickly. But the overall, architecting of something and design and the steps of building it is a whole nother bag of fish. You know what I mean? But these are just the 6 basic tools. This is like your saw and your hammer and your screwdriver. These are the 6 things there are in computer science. There's no more than this. Maybe a 7th in classes, but there's only 6 things. And you're going to know all 6 of these things by like week 6 of this semester. So by the end of week 6, you're basically going to know everything there is in computer science. The only question is after that, it's like, how do I put them together to make a big program, which is not a small task, by the way. Yep. So the 6 things are: make a variable. If you guys know what a variable is in algebra, like conceptually, you know what that is already. You have a variable x, has a value of 0. Number 2 is algebra. So for example, you can set x is equal to 2 plus 2 times 7. Now, let's see if you guys remember. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. What value is x going to be equal to after this right here? Like if we say x is equal to 2 plus 2 plus times 7, what value is x going to have after that line of code runs? It's going to be 28, or is it going to be 16? Correct. Yes, it'll be 16. Because you do multiplication before you do addition. Computer science and in algebra. So we'll learn about algebra probably either this week or next week. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus are the 5 algebraic operations we can do. Input and output. How do you read input from a keyboard? How do you write output to the screen? How do you read from a file? How do you write to a file? How do you read from the network? How do you write from the network to the network? We'll be doing that pretty quickly too. Number 4 is where all of the intelligence in a program comes in. Either do one thing or another. So for example, you could write a line of code that says if x equals 28, print yar, otherwise print nar. So given the value of x right here, is it going to print yar to the screen or nar to the screen? What do you guys think? Given the value of x from, the second line there, is it going to print yar to the screen or is it going to print nar to the screen? That is correct. It will print nar to the screen because the value of x is 16, and so it does not equal 28, so it prints nar to the screen. Next up, thing number 5, which we'll learn, I don't know, week 3-ish, something like that, is repeating yourself. So I'll say it again, repeating yourself. I'll say it again, repeating yourself. Doing something multiple times. So for example, you tell the computer to print hi 5 times. So everybody go on to chat and print hi 5 times. You can simulate a computer doing a for loop. Print hi 5 times. With an exclamation mark. It's a very friendly class. Everyone's saying hi to each other. And then finally, the last thing in computer science is the notion of a function. So if you guys remember functions from algebra, f of x equals 2 times x, that kind of stuff, it takes in an input and it gives an output. And that's it. That's all of computer science. So semester is now over. Give you the final tomorrow. That's it. That's all there is in computer science. Every program that you see, from Microsoft Word to Zoom to PowerPoint we got here, all of them are built just using these 6 things. Variables, functions, branches, loops, algebra, and I/O. That's it. There's nothing more than that. You could arguably say classes are, which you'll learn more in CSCI 41. But other than these 6, maybe 7 things, that's it. In grad school, you don't learn like a secret if statement or something like that. Like this is it. This is all there is in computer science. All the challenge is just how do you assemble them together to make interesting programs that can solve the problems you want to solve. But these basic skills here, you're going to know all of them by like week 6. So you're going to technically know everything in computer science by like week 6. So it's kind of cool. Whoever just joined right now is so confused. Hi. All right, so we got, well, I think we're basically out of time. Oh, no, we got like half an hour, right? Okay. Yeah, we got like half an hour left. So, let's let's get you all on the server. Let's I'm going to stop the recording now, and I'm going to try and get everybody logged in on the server, everybody set up. People always forget their passwords and things like that. So let's get everybody on the server. I have posted a video here. So if you go onto the announcements section, the Welcome to CSCI 40 announcement has all of the steps you need to take to get going in this class. You have to be on Discord. You need to look at the modules section, for example, right here. This has all of your homework on it. Your Xylabs and Xybooks are already up. We've got, the quiz for the well up there. That counts as your attendance. That is your attendance. So if you don't do it, you get dropped from the class. So make sure you do it. If you miss 6 quizzes overall, you get dropped from the class. And if you miss the first day's quiz, you get dropped from the class. So make sure you do it. But all of your homework and stuff like that is going to go up on to the module section on Canvas. You will need to get Xybooks. Don't do the free trial. Do not do the free trial. Every year I have students like, oh, I'll just do the free trial. It does not save your work. So you finish all this work and it does not save it. And you're going to be sad because you're going to have to do it again and it sucks. So don't do the free trial. It's a trap. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get people set up on the server, and then once you're on, this is actually very important. This is the most important thing of the day. Once you're successfully logged in on the server and you're looking at a text prompt that looks like you've just hacked the NSA, you have to announce I'm in. Okay, it's very important. And if you want to post the Hacker Man GIF as well, that's always acceptable as well. Because when people look at you doing your coding on text-based interfaces like this, they're going to assume that you're hacking the NSA, and will consider you a hacker, whether or not you're actually hacking. You're just writing like your first program, but they're going to think you're a hacker. So that's nice. Okay, so Portnoff's here. Very good. Portnoff is here to help you guys out as well. So if you guys are having trouble getting logged on, post in the chat channel. I might assign you to one of the alumni that is here, Hazelton or Portnoff or Vincarelli or I don't know if Juarez is still here. Yeah, Juarez is still here, and Eggert left. Maybe, yeah. Okay, so it's very important. You have to announce I'm in on chat. Okay, so let's go through the process. Where do you go from here? So you launch Putty, and you're going to be seeing something that looks like this. Okay. So you clicked on logging. So that's your problem. You need to not be there. You need to be here. And you are going to type in csci4x.com. Okay. You're in the mainframe, exactly. And there you go. So, I'm in the matrix now. So I learned today that you can actually control the speed of this for one of my students. It's very cool. You make the text go faster as well. Okay. Okay, so you're going to type in csci4x.com and then hit open. And then it's going to ask for your username and your password. So let me make the font bigger for you. Just 1 second. There. So you're going to type in your username and your password. Your username is going to be something like Kearney1056. I have a video on this as well on how to log in, but I'm just going to use my normal login here. Yours is going to be like mua _ whatever. And then when you connect, it'll ask you for your username. You type in your username, then ask you for the password. Now, this part confuses people. If I hit things here, nothing appears on the screen. You need to type your password blindly, basically. It's a security measure. Like it doesn't echo the stars or whatever to the screen so that people don't know how many characters are in your password. Yep. If you get the password wrong too many times, then it will block you from the server for 15 minutes. So don't get your password wrong. You mind if I get an account later? Yes, I will. I will get you set up, Juarez, in just 1 second. If any of you guys are adding, message me right now, and I will create an account for you. If you can't log in or if you forgot your password, message me as well. Now, remember, if you type in the wrong password too many times, it will actually ban you from the server for 15 minutes. So just be careful of that. Make sure you set up a secure password or Kearney will humiliate you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do run a password cracker on students' passwords to look for poor quality passwords, mostly as a security measure so that people don't guess them online. Not sure what that is. That is the password download site. So that is the website where you can download PuTTY. So you can just search for PuTTY download. And that is cherk.greenend.org.uk. I don't know. I think they should just buy putty.com, but you know, that's just me. And then you're just going to download like the 64-bit installer and install that to get PuTTY. Okay. So I guess I'll just end the stream. At least I'll pause the stream for a second. Yeah, so if you want it to automatically type in your username for you, you can go to here, and then you can save the session like this. So click save, make a new session if you want. It'll save the host name, and you can save your default username, and you can even save your password as well. And setting that up takes a little bit more effort. I don't know if we need to go into it right now, but you can basically create a where is it? You can basically generate a private key using a tool called PuTTyGen. And PuTTyGen allows you to make a cryptographic key pair. You can upload one of them to the server, put the other one locally, and point PuTTY at it. Then it'll allow you to log in automatically without needing a username and password, which is kind of nice. So I go to a new session here and click on that. It just logs me in automatically. No username, no password needed. Kind of cool. So the host name is CSCI4x.com. You can put the www, it doesn't do anything. So just the host name. When you launch PuTTY, you're going to type in CSCI4x.com and hit OK. All right. It is saying that it is denied. When you try doing what? When you type in your username? Pause the recording. Okay, so now let's do a little intro to Unix. This is all detailed in my intro video that I made for you guys. I'm just going to kind of go over it real fast again. Once you log in, you're going to be looking at a Unix prompt like this. It looks very complicated, like you're hacking the NSA or something. There's only a few commands you need to know. There's more, but there's only a few you need to know. ls will show you the files and folders that are in your current directory. And we have a simple calculator, a couple different files, snap directory. Let's see, I think I've pushed out to like hello world as well. And so if you type ls, it shows you the files and folders that are in your current directory. If you type cd and the name of a folder, it will open that folder up. You'll go into that folder. So for example, if you wanted to go into the hello world folder, you type hell and then hit tab. Tab fills in the rest of the name for you. You don't have to type the whole thing. Type the first couple letters. Technically just H is enough because there's no other folders that start with H. Then when you hit return, you are now in the hello world directory. If you type ls, you'll see that there's a couple different folders, and not folders, but an executable, and you might not have the executable. You probably just have main.cc and test. And now we're going to show you guys how to open a text file up for editing. And this is going to take a little bit of time, so just be patient. So what you're going to do is, let's see, who should I become in this class? Nah, I'll just do this guy. No, I'm going to become somebody. All right, so I'm going to become Olsen. And I'm going to type vim main.cc. And this is what you're going to see only the first time you run vim. So we use a text editor called vim, and a bunch of things are going to appear on the screen. And if you look at the bottom part of the screen, you can see it's like installing and configuring and doing all this stuff. Just let it run. This will only happen once this whole semester. Let it do its thing. Okay. Once it's done, it looks like it's calmed down. You hit Q to get out of that screen, and then Shift ZZ to quit out of it. I'll go over that again in a second. So you type vim and a file name. If you want to see what's inside of the to-do file, do that. And what was it? To-do test. Sorry. If you want to see what's within the test file, then you can do that, and then you can see you've got all the text stuff inside of here. In order to save and quit from vim, it is Shift ZZ. Z as in zebra. So I hold down Shift and hit Z as in zebra twice. Saves and quits. Okay. So if you change machines, will you have to run that every time? Nope. Once you do that on your account, it is done forever. It's downloading. We spent a lot of time installing plugins and color schemes and a little toolbar at the bottom here. This is all new for this semester. There's like tabs up here. You're gonna have like different tabs open, and mouse support. So you like click on these things. So it's kind of like it's like a tab text editor now. It's got these lines here showing the connections between the braces, stuff like that. 4-minute warning. All right, cool. So Vim is the text editor we're going to be using. It's pretty much mandatory for the class. You have to use the server to do all of your coding on the class. So there's only a few commands you need to know once you're inside of Vim. I puts you into insert mode. Insert mode allows you to type as if it's just a normal text editor. Escape, look at the bottom left corner of the screen. Escape puts you back into command mode or normal mode. And when you're in command mode or normal mode, you can hit Shift ZZ to save and quit. So all of these commands are in the video that I prepared for you guys, so please watch the video. Right. Where'd I put it? Intro video. So the intro video goes through all the steps of getting set up and all that kind of stuff. How to use Unix, how to use Vim. I'm just kind of giving you the recap of the recap right now. And it's, you know, if you get stuck at any point along the way, that's where you should be. Look at that video. Okay. So that is basically it for today. Once you run Vim, and like I said, you run it the first time, that big crazy screen is going to pop up and all these things are installing. Those are all the plugins that we're enabling for you guys. Once you got all that done, hit Q to get out of that screen, and then Shift ZZ to save and quit, and you're set for your first programming assignment on Wednesday. So in the meantime, read the Zybooks, get going on the Zybooks, get going on, make sure you buy it and start reading it. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. If you need to add, come back on Wednesday. Self-service crash like it does at the beginning of every semester. Because, yeah, why allocate more resources than you have to? You know what I mean? Okay, so that is today. Thanks, everybody. And if you have any questions, always feel free to message me on Discord. You can @ me. It'll ping on my cell phone. I answer questions all the time. I'm on the help center constantly. Everybody's on the help center. There's a lot of support in this class. If you're ever confused, just ask for help. It's perfectly normal. All right. Good luck and have fun. All right. Peace.